As always, I'm doing this on my own time with my own resources. I've thought a lot about what happened at the General Council meeting at the beginning of November and thought I'd weigh in a little bit. One of the more controversial parts of the meeting had to do with the bylaw amendment change. We actually going in thought that would not be a controversial thing at all. We were simply asking to change the bylaw so that the quorum would be, instead of 30 people, that it would have to be 5% of the membership, and then we were doing a first reading and a second reading. There are obviously some members who wanted that bylaw to be a lot lower. The reason that that was brought forward is we've had some issues in the last few meetings, and a lot of members have asked us to look at that bylaw and to raise the quorum. In particular, in the November 2024 meeting, we had a case where people tried to defund a court case that was going forward. That person was later convicted, and I just, full disclosure, I was the victim in that case, but it doesn't matter. It went forward and the person was convicted, but there was an attempt to actually stop it by just saying we're not going to fund it anymore at a general council meeting. That's kind of highly corrupt in my mind, but that's what happened, and that was kind of the idea that maybe we need to have more people in the room if we're going to be making decisions that affect all members. So the quorum came forward, and some people wanted to lower it, and there was a lot of discussion on it. There had been discussion on it in tribal council. It had passed with a majority in tribal council, but it wasn't unanimous. And people really wanted to pull it off the floor, which is not something you can really do. We did end up making basically a non-binding vote to send it back to council, and council will decide. Council does have the ability to pull it, and we may pull it. I don't know what will happen. We'll probably discuss that in December. But the idea there was, again, that we were going to go to 5%. And there was about almost 3 hours of discussion, including a bunch of kind of dead space where people were doing voting on it. And in the end, what we came to was passing almost 2-1 that 150 people would be the new quorum that we would need, which was down from the 170, which would have been about the 100, which would have been the 5%. Having said that, I'm pretty sure that 5% would have passed if we had just done a straight vote on it. But it did. They did raise one very serious and I think very good question about it. Well, when does General Council get a chance to talk about stuff and modify stuff? And I think we've been trying to go about this in too complex of a manner. There was a constitutional amendment that went forward and failed in June that would have set up a very rigorous procedure to do it. And that was probably too detailed. And as I was thinking through this, it dawned on me, we could probably do this, and probably best do this with tribal council rules that say, if we're going to send out a bylaw or constitutional amendment, it needs to be turned in 4 months early. The reason for turning it in 4 months early is tribal council can discuss it and vote to send it out to members to get their input that way. We could give 6 weeks for members to send in written input. We can have ways that they can give verbal input as well, but this would get input from all members, not just the members who happen to be at a general council meeting or happen to be still there at a general council meeting. That would also take out some of the contentiousness. A lot of people left during the discussion because they didn't like how contentious it was. Some people don't do well with conflict. Your introverts in the crowd aren't going to want to go up to the microphone. By having a specific time where we can take written comments and then bring them back, look at those comments, make modifications to the proposal, and then send it out for a first reading would probably be the best way to do it. And that's what I'm going to propose to the general council, or to the tribal council at the December meeting. And we may be bringing that forward to general council to just discuss what's going on. That would prevent us from having to do a constitutional amendment, but still do what people really want, which is in the day of mail-in voting, how do we make sure that the members, and all of the members, not just members who are sitting in a room on a given day, have the input for decisions that affect the tribe. Anyway, that's my thought on that today. Thanks.